Hello, once again, folks. I'm Matt, here to do another Tech Talk. This time I want to show you how to log in to the new Oxford County Library online catalog for the first time and set up your library account using your Oxford County Library card. So if you're new to the library, the Oxford County Library system, or perhaps you're not, but you've not yet logged into our new catalog for the first time, then this video is for you. First, a little bit of background. If you've been a member of the Oxford County Library for even a little while now, you'll probably have noticed by now that, well, back in December of 2021, we changed to a new system or platform for our online public catalog. And that new platform is called Bibliocommons. So obviously the catalog looks a little different than it used to. I'll just quickly go there. Okay, this is the catalog here. What you saw just a second ago was the library's homepage, but this is the catalog here. So it looks a little different than it used to. You'll probably also have noticed that if you try logging into the old catalog using the old login page, which many people had bookmarked, I know I did, that won't work anymore, okay? Your library card is the same, but our catalog system is different. And this new Bibliocommons online catalog will allow you to do pretty much everything the old catalog used to let you do. But yes, it looks different and in some ways works differently than the old catalog. We here at the Oxford County Library have already made 2 Tech Talk videos about using Bibliocommons. My colleague Vicki at the Ingersoll branch made one in February, and my predecessor here at the Tillsonburg branch, Ryan, he did one in January. And those are excellent. Those are excellent videos. They serve as general overview videos and cover the basics of Bibliocommons in one video. And if you haven't watched either of those yet, I invite you to do that. You'll find, you may find that they're more your speed for learning how to use this new catalog, and you can find either of those videos in the Tech Talks playlist here on our YouTube channel. So we'll begin. So let's say you have an Oxford County Library card and you're going to log into the new catalog for the first time. Okay, so right away, like I said before, if you use the old catalog, this is where some folks have experienced their first mistake. If you have that old login page bookmarked, delete that bookmark, okay? Because that's the login page for the old catalog. And I actually have that, because I still have it bookmarked, actually. That's what it used to look like, at least on my system. Okay, so if that's what you're trying to log into, don't. Okay, that won't work anymore. So please just go here, okay? In fact, that's a great first step for logging into the new catalog, is go to our library's homepage, all right, which is ocl.net, okay? You can just Google search OCL, Oxford County Library, or you can just type ocl.net at the top of your browser in that web address window there, okay? And this is the page. In fact, if you're anywhere on our library's web page, as long as you have this blue button up here, you can always, because that's the button that we want. But it's important to know that it's right here on our home page, okay? And so I'm going to click that in a minute, but there are just a few other things I want to say. Question that I've received a few times from patrons: is any one web browser better to use for this logging into the catalog than another web browser? And the answer is not that I know of. This should work no matter what browser you use. The big 3 browsers seem to be Chrome, Firefox, and Edge. Obviously, I'm using Chrome here. You use whichever browser you're most comfortable using. Our library's catalog pretty much looks and works the same in all major browsers. So as I was saying, up here on the top right corner of the library's homepage, you'll see this dark blue tab called Login/MyOCL. Click that tab just once, and a pull-down menu appears. The first option in that menu is another big button, but this one, it's green this time. It says Login/Register. Click that, and it should take you straight to the login screen, okay? So just pretend that I clicked that. And like I said, it should take you right to this screen here. This is the proper login screen. Now, please don't feel like you have to open it in a new tab or open in a new window like I had this sort of pre-planned. There's a reason, I'll explain maybe later why I did that, but you should be able just to click this green button here, Login Register, and the session you have open will take you right to this page, okay? Now, some people ask us, because that button said register, Login/Register, some people ask us, what does register mean? Like, do I have to register? I haven't, like, what does that mean? Well, okay, here's the explanation as I understand it. Don't worry. At this point, if you have an Oxford County Library card, then you've registered already as a member of the library. So that's already done. What we're doing here is we're activating your online account for the first time and setting it up. Okay, so the registration, if you have a library card and it's active, then the registration process is already done. So to log in, here in this first rectangle, yeah, well, actually, for this next step of the demonstration, I'm not going to use my own personal card. I'm going to use my friend Joe's. Remember Joe from my last Tech Talk video, my friend Joe Ordinary? Okay, I'm going to use his card for this. Now, here in this first rectangle or field, okay, where it says username or barcode, when we log in for the first time, we must use our library card's barcode. So you'll need your, have your actual plastic Oxford County Library card with you in hand for this. And if you look at the front of the card, okay, you'll see a barcode. You'll notice 14 numbers beneath that barcode. That's your barcode number. And that's what you must type into this first rectangle or field here where it says username or barcode. So I'm going to do that. I'm using Joe's card. So 1, 3, 5. I think I got. Oh wait, there's nothing. What's going on? Okay. 2, 6, 4, 9, 7. My sincere apologies. Okay. This is okay. This is a learning experience for you. Have to keep your eye and make sure that you actually have the cursor in the field. So 2, 6, 4, 9, 7. 0, 0, 0, 8, 9, 0, 1, 3, 5. Okay, yeah. And then, all right, so now here in the second rectangle, it says password. In this, type the 4-digit PIN that you received when you got your library card. If you used to log into the old catalog, it should be the same PIN that you used with the old catalog. Now, I discussed this a little bit in my last video. Some of you may not know that every Oxford County Library user has their own PIN, a 4-digit, like a 4-number PIN. They do, and you should know it and have it written down somewhere. It's usually the last 4 digits of your phone number. If you're not sure what your PIN is, then phone your closest Oxford County Library branch and ask. And I realize that this design feature here it says password, not PIN, okay? And I get that may be confusing, but that's what you have to use here is your 4-digit PIN to log into the catalog. So I'm gonna use Joe's PIN here. All right, and log, and hit this blue button here, log in. Ah, oh good, I was worried that was gonna work. Okay, boom. We're in, okay? So if you're logging in for the very first time, this is what you should see. And once you get everything set up, once we're finished this, okay, this won't show again next time you log in. You're gonna go straight to your account's dashboard or main display page. But we're setting up the account because it's the first time Joe's logging in. Just a few troubleshooting things before we go any further with this. If you enter the wrong PIN in the password field, okay, just try it again. You may have just hit an incorrect number. But if you're putting in the number that you're pretty sure is your PIN and it keeps telling you that you're incorrect, okay, like I said, that the PIN is incorrect. Like I said before, call us. We can straighten those issues out over the phone very easily. Call or email us. Another thing, for those of you who've had an Oxford County Library card for a while now, if for some reason after entering your library card's barcode number and PIN, and you do not proceed to this page, maybe you get an error message, maybe something else happens, but clearly you're not moving ahead to the account setup page like you see here, then what was probably happening is your library card may have expired. Well, not expired, I don't like that word. We will probably still have your library card in our system, but what happens is every 2 years, whether you use your library card a lot or not at all, every 2 years, every Oxford County Library card will kind of go to sleep, go dormant, and you must contact us to sort of renew or reactivate it. There are reasons for that. We want to verify that your current contact information, your address is the same, that sort of thing. So If you believe that's what's probably happened to your card, again, just give us a call. We can reactivate your card, okay, over the phone. But assuming that your card is active and your password/PIN is correct, then this is what you should see the first time logging in. And I'll just read it here. It says, let's set up your MyOCL account or catalog account. Then you'll be able to view your checkouts and due dates, renew items, place holds, and more. Will only take a minute. Sounds good to me. So let's click continue to account setup here, this blue button. Okay. So next this is the beginning of the account setup phase. You should see your first and last name. Okay, this is Joe Ordinary's card, so that's what we see here. You should see your first and last name as it's been recorded in your library cards record in our computer at the library, okay? If you've had a card with us for a while, but maybe your name has changed since you last used your card, okay, you will not be able to change your name here. We have to update that for you at the library. So next time you visit one of our branches in person, you can ask us to do that. Just bring a piece of ID with you that has your current name and address on it, and we can change your name there. The next step is to verify your email address, okay? Now, if we already have your email address recorded in your library cards record at the library, then you should see that address displaying here. And my friend Joe is actually using my address, okay? So if it's still a valid and active email address, please don't change it. Leave it as is. If you didn't provide us with an email address when you got your library card, okay, and or for some reason we don't have your email address in your library cards record at the library, then this field will look a little different. If I recall, what it does, it will actually ask you to enter an email address. I strongly recommend that you do. For a lot of reasons. For example, if for any reason you forget your username, we haven't yet made a username for Joe, that's coming up next. But if you ever forget your Bibliocommons username, one way to retrieve it through Bibliocommons is with the email address that you enter here. So that's at least one example why it's important. Another reason, you'll also receive updates and other notifications about your Bibliocommons account through email. So again, I strongly recommend you enter an email address here. Next is date of birth. Looks like my friend Joe was born in January of 2000. So it's just verifying that you are you. Yeah, and as it explains here, your birth date is used to determine if you are a minor. It is never made public. Okay, but for most of you, that date of birth will already be in your library records, so it should just display here. Yeah, see any incorrect information? I believe it just, yeah, this little button, just if any information associated with your library card is incorrect, you can still continue setting up your account online, but you know, next time you're at the library, let us know and discuss it with us, and we can change anything that isn't correct that you see here. I'm just going to click continue down here. Okay, the next part of the account setup process is creating a username, and this is where the new system is different from the old one. But the old one, if I recall correctly, you didn't need to create a username to log into the catalog. You just kept using your library card's barcode number to log in, and then your PIN. But with a Bibliocommons catalog, if you want to log in to your library card, you'll need a username. So this is like choosing a username pretty much anywhere else, only here you can, I believe, yeah, so Bibliocommons usernames can contain letters, numbers, and underscores. Yeah, that's important. It doesn't, you'll notice it doesn't say special characters. It doesn't appear that you can use any special characters. Like, for example, those symbols that appear above the numbers on your keyboard, like the ampersand, the pound sign, asterisk, those, apparently you cannot use those. Nor can you use spaces made with a space bar. So if you want a username that has two parts to it, you can't use a space bar. You have to use an underscore for that. And if some of you are wondering what an underscore is, it's basically a line that acts as a space. Like I said, you cannot use the space bar in your username here. So if you want to use something like a space, you may use an underscore. And whereas an underscore located on your keyboard, it's usually the same button as the hyphen or dash button. Only on my keyboard anyway, you have to press shift to reach the uppercase character on that button. If you find any of that underscore stuff puzzling, that's fine. You don't have to use the underscores. Okay, so just choose not to use any underscores in your username. Use only letters and numbers. Now I'm going to attempt to make a username for my friend Joe. Ordinary, okay? What's a good one for Joe? Ordinary. He's a big fan of, I don't know, big fan of the, well, he's a big fan of the classic rock and the Beatles, you remember from the last video, so maybe I'll choose something like, you know, what's that Beatles song? Eleanor Rigby. Came out in 1966. Okay, Rigby, okay, so that appears, if I just do Rigby, you'll notice that someone else is already using this username, okay? You'll notice that it says so here. And also make a recommendation to maybe choose to make it more unique by adding, here's an underscore, adding an underscore and then maybe a number or something. I'm just going to put Rigby's, because it was, what was the Revolver album in 1966? Yes, it was. So I was going to add 66. So Joe's a big Beatles fan. He's going to love this username. I just know it. And his username is Rigby66. So, okay, so that wasn't a terrible experience, but as you saw, it takes a few tries. If you attempt to make a username, but someone else is already using it, as you just saw, it will say so. It will say someone else has this username, and it'll make a few suggestions to make what you've suggested a bit more unique. The point here is just keep trying to make the username more and more unique. Maybe add an extra number or letter or something. Another thing, if you've been a member of another library, probably public library, and this is in the past, a library that used Bibliocommons for their catalog system, and you had a username for that library's catalog, although you're probably not a member of that other public library anymore, Bibliocommons may still have that old username of yours marked as taken in its system, okay? A number of our patrons at Oxford County Library have told me that while they're doing this, they've thought, well, you know, I no longer live in this other town that I used to live in. They had Bibliocommons there. I'll just use my old username from when I was a member of that public library. And when they enter it, the system tells them that someone else is already using that username. I don't know how long it takes for those unused or no longer or lapsed accounts to disappear from Bibliocommons. I don't know. All I do know is that that happens sometimes, so just be aware of that. Oh, and by the way, once you come up with a username that isn't taken and that you're happy with, remember to write it down. Okay, so before we move forward, some other issues and problems that folks sometimes encounter at this stage of the setup process. Some people don't like using their, like their username. They would rather log into the catalog using their barcode, their actual barcode from their library card and their 4-digit PIN. Well, you may do that. Bibliocommons should always let you log in with the barcode rather than the username, okay? However, you have to still create a username for your account. There's really no way of getting around that I'm aware of. Another thing, some folks have asked me, well, when I create a username, should I just use my real name as my username? Well, you can if you want, if it isn't already taken. Perhaps maybe your username and then, perhaps maybe your first name and then maybe a couple of numbers to make it all the more unique. That's up to you. Generally, I discourage people from using any portion of their real name for a username. It's just a privacy thing. You don't have to worry about us here at the library knowing that it's you logging into the catalog. We link you to your online account with your library card's barcode. So you can use whatever username you want to. We'll always know that it's you, so don't feel like you need to use your real name. So next, click the checkbox here next to terms. I accept the following terms. Okay, I encourage you to read these terms and conditions over as Bibliocommons has written them, if you wish. I'm not going to because this is just a demonstration, but you must click this box and accept the terms and conditions in order to finish the setup process. So I've done that. So next I'll click continue or complete account setup here. No, I have this option of saving this. Just for now, I'm going to say never. I don't know if your browser is set up to record those things, but mine is. Okay, so, all right, Yeah, your account is now set up. Well, almost. It's almost set up. Here, Bibliocommons is just verifying that my username is Rigby66. I'm now going to click continue to my account here. Okay, and here are a few more things that you'll need to make a decision about. Notice up here, you'll notice up here in the top right, okay, my username appears on that blue tab. That's how you know that you're logged in. Instead of login/myOCL, like it said before, that blue tab up here, now it should show your username. And then if and when you log out, you'll know that you're logged out, because in this blue tab, we'll go back to saying login/myOCL. So here are a few more things that you'll need to make a decision about. First, over here to the left, enable borrowing history. Okay, I encourage you to click that. There will come a time, I promise you, there will come a time when you'll want to check whether you've already read or at least borrowed a particular book or DVD or what have you. And by enabling borrowing history, you'll be able to track that. You'll be able to look that up in your online account. At least your borrowing history up to the last 24 months anyway. I don't believe the borrowing history feature will track any longer than that. One question we get, so I'm just going to click that, okay? It says up here, your new information has been saved. Okay, so I've enabled borrowing history. Okay, thank you. One question we get about this step, if some folks ask, if I enable this borrowing history feature, will I be able to see everything I've borrowed, you know, all the way back in the last 24 months, or will I be able to see everything I've borrowed only since Bibliocommons, since you guys changed catalogs? Okay, or only since I activated my Bibliocommons account? Well, the answer is good news. If you enable borrowing history here, okay, you should be able to see everything that you've borrowed from the last 2 years or 24 months, even back from when we had our old catalog. It should be there. Okay, yes, and here's the next step: import content from previous catalog. Okay, yes, I strongly recommend that you go ahead and click that. Okay, so if you've had any lists, okay, your request has been sent. Full import will start shortly. Good. Okay. If you've had any lists, any content like that which you had created and relied upon in your old online account when we had the old catalog, that information should be imported into this new one. Okay. In fact, this may well be where your past borrowing history comes from. So it's, you know, you enable borrowing history and also click request import. And now it shouldn't take long to do that. That little pop-up box said that the importing would begin shortly, but the thing is, it's not instantaneous. Okay, it's not as quick as clicking that button. So it may take a little longer than a few minutes. It may take a few hours, may take a day. I don't know. It shouldn't be more than a day for that old content to be imported into your new Bibliocommons account. So just be patient with that. And down here, privacy defaults. Okay, right here. These primarily have to do with lists that you make and things that you do with a Bibliocommons feature called shelves. And I recommend that for now, you just leave these three boxes. You just leave these three boxes as they are for your own privacy's sake. Down the line, I'll probably make a separate video just about this shelves feature and making lists. And there is a way to change these privacy settings so that you share those things with other people in the Bibliocommons community. But for now, I recommend you just leave these three boxes as they are. Up here, top right, this is just verifying which of the 14 Oxford County Library branches you've indicated as your home branch. And that should already be recorded in your library cards record at the library. So in this case, Joe's home branch is Tillsonburg. That's where he got his library card. Oxford County Library card. Joe lives in Tillsonburg, and the Tillsonburg branch is closest to him, so that's the one that he has entered as his home branch. And this is important for when you place holds on items. The branch that you've marked here as your home branch, or as Bibliocommons describes it, preferred library location. This is where, by default, those items will be sent for you to pick up. Okay. Now you'll notice there is a way to add right here. Add a secondary location or branch. For now, I recommend that you just leave it to one, okay, whichever one is here. you'll see that there's a whole pull down menu here, but it was by default Tilsonburg branch because that is Joe's home branch. I recommend you leave it to just one for now. And in the next video, when I show you how to search using the new catalog, I'll try and remember to show you how these preferred location settings work in the catalog and what happens when you have more than one location marked here. But for now, just leave this as you see it. Okay, so and display defaults, community content. Again, I recommend you just leave these as they are. I'll explain in a later video what that affects as far as, like I said, creating content for the Bibliocommons community. I won't get into it now. I'll just say that you're best just accepting the default. So click save. Preference saved. I should have clicked save down there. Well, you know what? If you just leave these defaults as they are, I don't think there's actually any reason to click save. I've just done that, I guess, to be safe. All right, all done. Explore your new catalog. This blue button in the lower left, I'm going to click that. Okay. Now, if I actually want to start exploring the catalog, I'd do a search or something, and up here you'll notice the magnifying glass icon with the word search. Again, that's next video stuff. Certainly, if you want to go ahead, you know, if that's something you'd like to know now is how to do basic searches with Bibliocommons, then I refer you again to Ryan's video or Vicky's video about Bibliocommons, which, as I said before, those videos are already available in our Tech Talk playlist here on YouTube. I just want to show you this kind of dashboard feature. This is, I believe, the main screen you get. I'm going to go back. Up here is kind of, that pull-down menu is always a pull-down menu. It used to say register login here, but now that we've logged in, it just says log out. So if you want to log out, that's where you'll find the log out button, is up here and next to your username, this pull-down menu. My library dashboard, I'm gonna go, yeah, okay, I was correct. This is the dashboard or main display page. I'll show you these in just a minute. These are the same, these are actually, these buttons here on the pull-down menu are the same as these here. If you had shelves, if you were creating content in your Bibliocommons account, then this would look a little different. But if you're logging in just for the first time, then this is probably what it's going to look like. And again, I'll show you in later videos how to use the shelves feature and that sort of thing. But the basic functions, okay, the ones that you're probably going to use more than anything else, is you're going to want to see what you've checked out. If you have anything checked out on your library card, Joe, my friend Joe, does not have anything at the moment. If he did, there would be a list of books, okay, book title, the author, the cover too, okay, and it would also give what the due date is, okay. So, and it would also give you the option to renew items if you wanted to, if they were renewable. Some items aren't. But you'll have that. You'll have those options here. If you have anything on hold, if items are on hold and waiting for you to pick them up, they'll be listed here. If you have items that you've placed your name on the holds list for it, those should be listed here. So again, it's just the same as the old catalog. It just looks a little different. Borrowing history. Okay. This is going to be a bit confusing because you'll get recently returned. So things that you've recently returned to the library will appear here. But some folks, they'll click on borrowing history and they'll be like, well, where's my borrowing? It says 4 items. Where are they? They're not listed here. Okay. I kind of wish the design was a little different. Okay. I wish that it would go straight to all borrowing history. You'll notice down here this link. Okay. View all borrowing history. It looks like Joe's got 4 items total in his borrowing history. Yes, he does. Okay. And so this is showing what Joe has borrowed in the past. Okay. And again, the borrowing history feature will show you what you've borrowed on your card up to the last 24 months, 2 years, 24 months. Last but not least, we're a fines-free library, so, you know, like, we don't charge overdue fines. But if for any other reason there's a balance owing on your account, maybe a small charge for a damaged book or a book that you never returned to the library and it was assumed lost, and so that charge is on your account, it will show here. So that's basically it. That's for just kind of basic navigation. I'll go back to this pull down menu again. Back to the dashboard. Again, my collections, these are shelves. Oh, my profile. I'm going to click on that. Yeah. Okay. I realize now this is something else that I'll have to make a later video about because this one's getting very long. My settings. Let's go to that. Okay. This is the one that I thought. This is the screen I thought was going to show with my profile, but this is actually my settings. This is where you go if you want to do things like change your email address. You want to change your username, you can. If you forget your username, then all you have to do is just log into your account using your barcode and your PIN rather than your username and your PIN. So that's an easy way of, and then your username should display up here. Because I've had some calls from people, I forget my username because they didn't write it down. Well, you should write your username down, but like I said earlier in this video, you can still use your 14-digit barcode, library card barcode number rather than a username. Along with your 4-digit PIN, and that should get you in. So I'm going to end things there. Okay, obviously, if you want to log out, then it'll log you out. It'll take you straight to the page and the login page. Anyway, if oh, there was one thing I wanted to show you. Okay, let me show you what was it was Rigby 66. Go back in. One thing I do want to show you is that if you want to start searching for things, okay, you can do that. Say I want to look for books by Stephen King. I'm just going to do a keyword search here, okay? You'll notice that I'm searching the catalog, but up here, my username is still there. So I'm still logged into the catalog, okay? But I can actually go to the search functions and begin looking for things. And if I find something, okay, that I want to put a hold on, because I'm doing this from home, okay, then I'll just click place hold, and this is how it is. So again, I'm going to show you more about these features in the next video, but I wanted to emphasize, and I forgot to, that once you've logged in and you stay logged in, you can go ahead and still use the catalog and search for things, and the screens will change, but as long as you still see your username up here, that means that you're still logged in. And so you'll be able to do things like place hold and not be prompted. You shouldn't be prompted to re-log in all over again. If that happens to you, give us a call, because it shouldn't be doing that. You should stay logged in until you log out. So I'm just going to log out. Okay. Yeah. So that's what's happening here is that my other username is actually auto-populating. That's if you're wondering what that is. Okay. So my username for my actual real library card, my personal library card. Okay. So I'm going to leave things there for now. In the meantime, like I said, if you have any questions about what I showed you, give us a call, email. We'll answer those questions that way, or call the Tillsonburg branch, ask for Matt. Thanks for watching this video, and we hope to see you soon in the Oxford County Library.